Have you ever experienced an event that seemed oddly familiar, as if you've lived it before? Or perhaps you've noticed subtle changes in your environment that you can't quite explain. Welcome to the enigma of multiple realities. This concept, while it may sound like the stuff of science fiction, is actually grounded in scientific theory and philosophical debate. The idea is that there are countless realities, or universes, existing simultaneously, each slightly different from the others. Now imagine if you could unknowingly shift between these realities, your consciousness sliding into a parallel universe where everything is almost the same, but not quite. A familiar face with a different name, your favorite song with altered lyrics, or a renowned historical event with a twist you never learned about in school. This is not just a whimsical thought experiment. It's a notion supported by quantum physics, the science that explores phenomena at the smallest scales of energy levels of atoms and subatomic particles. Quantum physics suggests that every possibility is played out somewhere. For every choice you make, there's a universe where you made a different decision. This is often referred to as the multiverse theory. It's a mind-boggling concept that challenges our perception of reality and questions the linearity of time and space. But how does this tie into our daily lives? Well, some believe that we can experience these parallel realities, that we may even shift between them without realizing it. These subtle shifts might explain those moments of intense déjà vu, or the unexplainable changes in our environment. In the coming scenes, we'll dive deeper into the signs that may indicate you've shifted to a parallel reality. We'll explore fascinating phenomena like the Mandela Effect, Deja vu, changes in personal relationships, gut feelings, intuition, synchronicities, and the power of meditation. Stick around to uncover the signs that you might have shifted to a parallel reality without even realizing it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy exploring such fascinating mysteries with us. In order to understand the signs of shifting realities, we first need to delve into the science that allows for their existence. Quantum mechanics and the multiverse theory may sound like something out of a sci-fi novel, but they are actually scientific theories that can help us understand the possibility of parallel realities. Let's break it down a bit. Quantum mechanics is a fundamental theory in physics that provides a description of the physical properties of nature at the scale of atoms and subatomic particles. It's a bit like the rule book for what happens at microscopic scales. Now, one of the most interesting aspects of quantum mechanics is the idea of superposition. This principle suggests that a particle can be in multiple states at once, and it's only when we observe it that the particle is forced to choose one state. Now imagine for a moment that every time a particle chooses a state, it's not just choosing for this reality, but for countless others. This is where the multiverse theory comes in. The multiverse theory proposes that there isn't just one universe. Instead, there could be countless universes, each one a little bit different from the last. These universes, or parallel realities, could exist side by side, like pages in a book. And just like a book, each page tells a slightly different story. Consider this. Every decision you make, every action you take, could be creating a new reality. In one universe, you might have chosen tea over coffee this morning. In another, you might have slept in instead of getting up early. Each choice creates a branching path, leading to a new reality. This is where the idea of shifting realities comes into play. Some proponents of the multiverse theory suggest that it might be possible to move between these parallel realities. Imagine sliding between the pages of the book, experiencing different versions of your life. Now, this isn't to say that every time you make a decision, you're physically jumping between universes. Rather, it's the idea that every possibility exists in some reality, and our consciousness might be able to move between these realities. It's a concept that's still very much on the fringes of scientific understanding, but it's something that quantum mechanics and the multiverse theory allow for. In essence, quantum mechanics and the multiverse theory paint a picture of a reality much more complex and fascinating than we could ever have imagined. A reality where every possibility exists, where every decision creates a new world. A reality where parallel versions of you are living out every conceivable life. So now that we have a grasp on the science, let's delve into the signs that might indicate a shift between realities. Have you ever been certain about a fact or event only to discover that your memory doesn't align with reality? You're not alone. This is a phenomenon known as the Mandela Effect. Let's dive deeper into this fascinating concept. Named after the famous South African leader Nelson Mandela, the Mandela Effect is a shared false memory. It's when a significant number of people collectively remember something one way, but in reality it occurred differently. This term was coined by paranormal enthusiast Fiona Broome in 2010. She, along with many others, distinctly remembered that Nelson Mandela had died in prison during the 80s. Yet, in this reality, Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and went on to become South Africa's president. This is but one example. There are countless instances of the Mandela Effect, some of which you might have experienced yourself. Do you remember the children's book series about the family of bears? Is it the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears? If you remember it as Berenstain, you've experienced the Mandela Effect, as the actual name is Berenstain. Or the famous quote from Star Wars, "Luke, I am your father." Except that's not the actual line. Darth Vader actually says, "No, I am your father." So how does this relate to shifting realities? Well, some theorists suggest that these collective false memories are not mistakes or misremembrances. Instead, they propose that these are memories from a parallel universe or reality, one where Nelson Mandela did die in prison, where the beloved bear family is indeed named Berenstain, and Darth Vader does say, "Luke, I am your father." This theory suggests that we may unknowingly shift between these realities, retaining memories from different ones. It's a mind-bending concept, isn't it? But remember, these are theories, and the true nature of our reality remains a tantalizing mystery. So if you've experienced the Mandela Effect, you might have unknowingly shifted to a parallel reality. Ever had a moment where you feel like you've lived the exact same moment before? Or perhaps you've noticed sudden changes in your surroundings, people, or even yourself? In the realm of parallel realities, these occurrences aren't mere coincidences or quirks of the mind. They're potential signs of reality shifts, and they're more common than you might think. But let's start with one of the most familiar phenomena, déjà vu. Déjà vu, a French term meaning already seen, is that eerie sensation of familiarity with a situation or moment that should be new or unknown. It's like a brief glitch in our perception of time, a sudden echo of something we've never actually experienced. Imagine walking into a coffee shop in a city you've never visited, yet you know exactly where the restroom is. Or perhaps you're having a conversation with a stranger, but you can predict word for word what they're going to say next. It's like a momentary time loop, a fleeting whisper from a parallel reality. Now, let's talk about sudden changes. These aren't the typical changes we undergo as we grow and evolve. No, these are abrupt, unexplainable shifts in our surroundings, in people we know, or even in ourselves. It's like waking up one day and your favorite coffee mug that's always been blue is now red, or your best friend who's always been an only child now has a sister, or you suddenly have a skill or knowledge you don't remember learning. These sudden changes can be disorienting, even unsettling, but according to quantum physics and the theory of parallel realities, they might be signs that we've shifted from one reality to another. Let me share an anecdote to illustrate this. There's a story of a woman who woke up one morning in a completely different apartment. Her clothes were different, her job was different. Even her boyfriend was different. She had no memory of moving, of changing jobs or boyfriends. Everything was familiar, yet not. She had a clear memory of her old life, and yet here she was, living a completely different one. According to the theory of parallel realities, she had somehow shifted into a different reality. These experiences of déjà vu and sudden changes can be jarring, but they're also fascinating. They open up a world of possibilities, of multiple realities existing side by side, of us living parallel lives in parallel worlds. They challenge our perception of reality, of time, of ourselves. The next time you experience déjà vu or notice a sudden change, you might want to consider the possibility of a reality shift. Who knows? You might just have slipped into a parallel reality without even realizing it. Have you noticed a sudden shift in your relationships, where people's behavior towards you changes abruptly and without explanation? Imagine waking up one day and finding that your best friend now treats you like a mere acquaintance, or perhaps your once distant sibling has suddenly become your closest confidant. These are not just random fluctuations in personal dynamics. They could be signs that you've unknowingly shifted into a parallel reality. Let's delve into this fascinating possibility. Imagine you're on a boat, gently rocking on the ocean of existence. Each wave, each ripple represents a different reality. Now, if your boat drifts from one wave to another, you're effectively transitioning between realities. And just as the ocean's scenery changes with each wave, so does the nature of your personal relationships in each reality. Now you might wonder, how can I possibly navigate these shifting realities? Well, there's no GPS for this journey. However, being aware of these shifts can help you adapt and maintain balance in your relationships. Picture this. Your coworker, who was always indifferent, suddenly becomes overly friendly, and there's no apparent reason for this change. Or your neighbor's dog, who used to bark at you relentlessly, now wags his tail happily whenever he sees you. These changes might feel odd, even unsettling, but they could be your clues to understanding that you've shifted realities. Remember, these changes aren't limited to your interactions with others. They can also reflect in your own feelings and attitudes. You might find yourself inexplicably drawn towards someone you never really cared for, or feel detached from loved ones without any tangible cause. Such emotional shifts might indicate a change in your reality. Of course, it's essential not to jump to conclusions. Not every change signifies a shift in realities. Sometimes people just evolve, and relationships transform. However, if these changes are sudden, drastic, and inexplicable, they might be worth examining through the lens of parallel realities. So, if your relationships seem to be changing inexplicably, it might not be them. It might be the reality you're in. Ever had a strong gut feeling or intuition about something only for it to come true? This is a question many of us have asked ourselves at one point or another. Imagine you're preparing for a meeting or a test, and suddenly you feel an inexplicable certainty about an outcome or a decision. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know it to be true. This, my friends, is what we call intuition or gut feeling. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with shifting realities? Well, let's dive a little deeper. Quantum physics, the study of the smallest particles in our universe, suggests that multiple realities exist simultaneously. It's like having numerous radio stations broadcasting at the same time, but you only tune into one. Your intuition, in essence, could be your internal radio tuning into these different realities. Our gut feelings and intuition often seem to operate outside the realm of logic and reason. They can feel like sudden insights or flashes of inspiration, seemingly coming out of nowhere. But what if they are not random or accidental? What if they are glimpses from parallel realities where a different version of you has already experienced what you're just about to? In the world of quantum physics, this is not as far-fetched as it sounds. Quantum particles, the building blocks of our reality, exist in multiple states at once until observed. This concept, known as superposition, could extend to larger scales, including our own reality. So your intuition might be you tapping into these different states of reality, picking up on information that your conscious mind isn't aware of. So the next time you get a strong gut feeling or a flash of intuition, don't dismiss it as mere coincidence. It might be a sign that you're shifting between parallel realities, experiencing different versions of your life simultaneously. Trust your intuition. It might be guiding you through the multiverse. Have you noticed meaningful coincidences happening in your life, where unrelated events seem to align perfectly? Let's dive into the fascinating world of synchronicities. They're these beautiful moments of serendipity that seem to defy the laws of probability, and some believe that they might be indicators of a shift in realities. Picture this. You're thinking about a long-lost friend, and out of the blue you bump into them at the grocery store. Or perhaps you've been mulling over a problem in your mind for days, and suddenly A random quote you read provides the solution. These are not mere coincidences, but synchronicities. They are like the universe's way of nudging you, whispering in your ear that there's more to this reality than meets the eye. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist, was the first to introduce the concept of synchronicities. He believed they were manifestations of the collective unconscious, these unseen strings that connect every one of us, orchestrating events in a way that might seem coincidental, but are deeply meaningful. Now, imagine if these synchronicities were not just random sparks of the collective unconscious, but signals of a shift in realities. If we're constantly shifting between parallel realities, as quantum physicists suggest, then these synchronicities could be the breadcrumbs that hint at our cosmic journey. Let me share an anecdote. There was this woman who kept seeing repeating numbers, 11:11 on the clock, 22:22 on her microwave timer, and so on. She believed these repeating numbers were synchronicities signaling a shift in her reality, and sure enough, she began noticing subtle changes in her life. Her relationships improved, she became more creative, and she felt more at peace with herself. Synchronicities are like the universe's Morse code, communicating with us through signs and symbols. They are messages wrapped in the ordinary, waiting for us to unwrap them and discover their extraordinary significance. So the next time you experience a synchronicity, consider it could be a sign you've shifted realities. Who knows? You might just have taken a quantum leap without even realizing it. Do you often have recurring dreams or visions that feel incredibly real? Let's delve into the realm of recurring dreams and visions. They are not just mere figments of our subconscious mind playing out in our sleep. They could be much more. Have you ever considered that these recurring dreams might be glimpses into parallel realities? Intriguing, isn't it? Consider this. You've been having a dream over and over again. The dream is so vivid, so detailed, that you can recall every nuance when you wake up. You feel like you've been there, lived it. Well, there's a theory that suggests that you may have indeed lived it, but not in this reality, in a parallel one. Take the story of a woman who dreamt of living in a quaint cottage by a serene lake. She had this dream for years, and each time, the details remained the same. The color of the walls, the pattern on the china, even the way the sunlight streamed through the windows. It felt so real, so tangible. Was she merely dreaming? Or was she tapping into a parallel reality where she lived in that cottage by the lake? Or consider those who have visions while meditating. These visions are often so strong, so compelling, that they feel more like memories than mere constructs of the mind. Are they seeing into other realities? Are they catching glimpses of their other selves leading different lives? The idea is enthralling, isn't it? To think that our recurring dreams and visions could be more than just random neural firings in our brains, but windows into other realities. It's a fascinating concept that challenges our understanding of the universe and our place in it. So the next time you have that recurring dream or vision, take a moment to ponder. Could it be your subconscious mind playing out its whims? Or could it be a peek into another reality that you're living in a parallel universe? Your dreams might be more than just figments of your imagination. They could be windows into parallel realities. Did you know that meditation can potentially help you navigate the multiverse? Now that's a thought to ponder, isn't it? Dive right in, and let's explore this fascinating concept. Meditation, a practice as old as time, has been known for its innumerable benefits. It calms the mind, reduces stress, and enhances overall well-being, but can it really help us shift realities? Let's delve into the quantum realm to find out. In the world of quantum physics, particles can exist in multiple places at the same time. This is known as superposition. It's a bit like the Zen concept of oneness, where everything is interconnected and nothing is separate. Quantum physics suggests that there could be an infinite number of realities existing simultaneously, much like the threads of a grand cosmic tapestry. Now, where does meditation fit into all of this? Meditation is a tool that allows us to tap into our consciousness, the very essence of our being. Some theorists suggest that our consciousness is not just a byproduct of our brains, but a fundamental aspect of the universe. When we meditate, We're not just calming our minds, we're connecting with the very fabric of existence. Imagine your consciousness as a cosmic remote control. Each button represents a different reality. With meditation, you're learning to use this remote to tune into different frequencies of existence. You're becoming a conscious navigator of the multiverse. It's like tuning a radio. When you change the station, the other stations don't disappear. They're still there, broadcasting away. You've just chosen to tune into a different frequency. In the same way, when you meditate, you could be tuning into a different reality, one that's always been there, just waiting for you to tune in. This is a field of study that's still in its infancy, and we have a lot to learn. But the possibilities are truly mind-boggling. The power of meditation could reach far beyond what we currently understand. So the next time you meditate, you might just find yourself in a different reality. It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? So go ahead, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and who knows where you might find yourself. We've traversed the realms of science, psychology, and spirituality today, uncovering signs that we might have shifted to a parallel reality. As we draw this journey to a close, let's reflect on the intriguing phenomena we've explored. We began by delving into the enigma of multiple realities, a concept that has both baffled and fascinated humankind for centuries. It's a mind-boggling thought, isn't it? The idea that there could be endless versions of reality, each one slightly different from the other, existing side by side. Then we ventured into the realm of science, where we discussed the quantum mechanics theory that supports the possibility of parallel realities. We learned that renowned scientists and physicists like Hugh Everett have proposed theories suggesting that every decision we make could lead to a branching off into another reality. This is truly a testament to how vast and intricate our universe could be. We then moved on to discuss the Mandela Effect, a phenomenon where a group of people remember events or details differently from how they actually occurred. The name itself comes from a widespread mistaken belief that the former South African president, Nelson Mandela, passed away in prison during the 80s, when in actuality he lived until 2013. This could potentially be evidence of a collective shift to a parallel reality. Deja vu and sudden changes were our next focus. These odd feelings of familiarity or abrupt alterations in our environment could be indications of a shift in reality. Imagine walking down a familiar street and suddenly feeling like it's your first time there, or noticing a tree that you swear wasn't there yesterday. Such experiences might be more than just figments of our imagination. We also discussed changes in personal relationships as a potential sign of reality shifts. Perhaps you've experienced sudden changes in the behavior of your loved ones or inconsistencies in your shared memories. Could these be signs of a reality shift? It's a thought-provoking question indeed. Gut feelings and intuition were the next stop on our journey. Have you ever had a strong feeling about something, but couldn't quite put your finger on why? These gut feelings might be more than just random thoughts. They could be your subconscious mind picking up on subtle changes in your reality. Then we ventured into the fascinating world of synchronicities, those uncanny coincidences that seem too perfect to be mere chance. Seeing repeated numbers, meeting the right people at the right time, or stumbling upon a book that answers a question you've been pondering. Could these be signs of a shift in reality? Next, we examined recurring dreams and visions. Dreams have long been considered a window into our subconscious mind, but could they also be glimpses into other realities? That recurring dream of you living a completely different life might not just be a figment of your imagination, but a peek into a parallel reality. Finally, we discussed the power of meditation. This ancient practice has been known to heighten our awareness and intuition, making us more attuned to the subtle shifts in our reality. It's fascinating to think that simply by quieting our mind, we could potentially tap into other realities. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. Have you noticed any of these signs in your life? Could you have shifted realities without even realizing it? Remember, these are just potential signs and theories, but they serve as a reminder that our universe is far more complex and mysterious than we could ever comprehend. So as you go about your day, keep these thoughts in mind. Pay attention to the world around you, and perhaps you'll start to notice subtle shifts and changes. Whether or not these are signs of a reality shift, they are certainly reminders of the incredible complexity and wonder of the universe we live in. Remember, the universe is far more mysterious and complex than we can comprehend. So keep an open mind, and you might just discover a whole new reality.